Okay, guys. Well, my apologies. I couldn't get the live stream. It's kind of tricky, actually, to do it. I use this product that will send it to YouTube and Twitter X. Well, they just went through an upgrade, and it looks totally different inside there. And with 5 minutes to spare, well, I couldn't sort it out. Right, the only thing they gave me, oh, well, here's a video to look at the new features, and that, but you know. So anyway, we'll do it this format. No change in terms of how we would approach anything. Right, everything that you guys posted, I'll go through here. I kind of like the live stream. It's immediate. I like the interaction, right? So the net result here won't change, but I kind of miss the immediacy of that interaction with you guys. So I apologize. I'll get it sorted out by next week. One of the things with the live stream, there's no place to check it. Can't do a dress rehearsal, right? It doesn't exist, right? As soon as you go live, if it's not right, you can't go, oh, let me start over. Kind of complicated that way. Anyway, enough of that. Okay, so first up here, this is, how do I say this? Bilal, B-I-L-A-L, is the member. Now, Bilal, what you said was, hey, what do you think about my count on Nike? But the link you posted was a 10-minute link. So there wasn't much I could do with that. So I'm assuming, right, this is all your work, that you would like maybe a longer-term count on it. So this is what you gave me, was a 10-minute. Can't do much with that. So I'm assuming this is all you, right? I just typed in Nike with your stuff here. I actually really like your TA here. You've done a great job here. I mean, is there any question about the 5 there? I mean, yeah, about as good, about as clean an impulse as you'll ever see. You probably just using the major pivots here, do something like this, right? But again, it's not when a market is really trending like this. This is when 5s and 3s are just in your face so much that to deny that they're active in the market here in 2024 because everything is algo and market structure. Right. Anybody gonna deny that? We got a 5, 3, 5 here. Right. It's just, I know. Too bad this stuff doesn't work anymore. Okay, so we got a good 5 here, up for a 3. Now here's where, with Elliott, usually the 5s are, can be tricky, but much easier, right? You get a complex correction like this, a little trickier. Okay, getting into this correction, remember we're trying to essentially, right, find a 3. Well, see, the way you gave it to me, you have the B here, right? So you were going A, B, C, right? So I like your thinking. I adjusted it a little bit here because I think this 5 is so clear. I don't think we can go A, B. I don't think we can put a B there. So right now there are times, of course, Elliott, don't expect Elliott to be perfect. There are going to be times where it's a little bit of a judgment call based on the swing structure. And everything's not going to lay out just perfectly in 5s and 3s. There are going to be times where you have to work with what's most clear. What can we see without any ambiguity, right? Now this, I would propose to you, is a 5 that can't be ignored. It's just too clearly. Whereas this, again, I'm on a weekly here. I can probably squeeze a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into an A, B, C. So I think this is a little bit of the better compromise, if you will. So what that would mean, though, is that we'd have to put the B up here, and then we'd have 1, 2, and that actually I think suits your count. Actually, where we're headed with this. Let me get that off of there. I think it suits it a little better. So with the B moved over here, so I'm just gonna brighten that up a little bit. So we got an A, we got a B, we got a 1, 2, right? So let me just fill this out for you. So 1, 2. Looks like 3, 4, 5, something like this. So that's a little bit, not going to be that big a degree, but looks decent. 1, 2, working on 3. It's a little squishy down here. I think we got to go 1, 2. It's tricky. Right, so it's a little bit of a compromise. You can't quite do it here. I mean, the more bearish, actually. Pardon me. Here, what do we got here? I think we might have to do this. Put the extension in the 5th. All right, so there we go. All right, so 1, 2. Now, does that make sense? Well, of course, right off the bat, you're gonna say, "Oh, let's measure it." Wouldn't that, we are in log scale? Let me take it out of log scale. And note, we're on a weekly, which I'm glad to see. Right, one thing you'll always hear from me very consistently is Elliott Wave is always easier to see on higher time frames, right? But people don't like that because it takes too much patience. You got to wait. Where's money made in the market? It's in the waiting, not in the doing. But let's just move on from that. 1, 2. Well, let's measure it, and let's measure it arithmetically. All right, so longer is longer. Second most common location for a 3, 2738. So we're not banging the 618, but I think you got to go with 5, 3. Right, it's a little skinny in there. 5, 3, 5, 3. So we'd have, where's my 4? Would be right here. And now we're starting on the 5. Let me go down. Let's go to a daily. So as we look now on a daily, A, B, 1, 2, looks like a good 3. Looks like we got a 4, and we're working on a 5, right? So the whole idea is that it's right on track, right? Your location here for the entry, does it matter, right? Am I corrections here? Well, it would matter in terms of where we're anticipating the finish. So if I bring this all down here per your analysis, I think the entry here looks just going to be spot on, right? So we got a 1, we got a 2, we're going to get a 3, 4, and 5, right? So we're looking to enter down here around 60. Now, always, right? Let's just be mindful. Okay, if we could just use, a trend line here. Oh, here, let's just use a line. Okay, right? So if I'm going to look at something like this, and I've got this very clear lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, right? We know the internal trend is lower here. We get a push here. We don't break the high, so we're still very much downtrend. So you want to be careful about getting down here and just assuming, oh, well, it's completed, so here we go. Okay, right? That's the assumption as we come into a 3 here, but there's just no, right? We can't lean into that without the evidence, right? So we can complete here, but the first thing we need to do is, we got to take out some sort of a swing pivot so that we know we have a good low, or at least we have a candidate for a low. So if we start to come back up here, right? We want to at least take out, but again, we don't have it, right? But at least there's going to be, if indeed this unfolds this way, which we don't assume it, right? We have to see it. Don't assume, see. All right, if I get the 3, 4, 5, well, okay, I need this at least. I got to get some sort of a break of structure here. Let's just call it a market structure shift, something to suggest that the low is in, because otherwise we have no way to confirm it, right? We could just do this and then do this and then do this, right? And you can just keep going, right? We have to have a mechanical, unbiased, logical way to approach, okay, are the ingredients there for the trend shift, right? So then where people can get themselves into trouble, right? So we get this, right, and then they buy it. Well, okay, sometimes that might work, but more likely, because we have this little structure shift here, which is a break of market structure, right? You would anticipate we could go higher, we could target some of this, but likely there's going to be a correction, right? So we're gonna correct this swing from here to here, right? So we get a discount premium. It's not rocket science, right? So we can buy down here instead of buying up here. This is a much higher risk place to be buying it right here after the initial market structure shift. Now, right, nothing says the market couldn't just take off here, but you have to work with risk reward is your priority, right? Again, it's defensive capital and having a mechanical system so that you can look back at this and go, oh God, my judgment just felt like it. Right? You don't want to be doing any of that. Can we mechanically be clear about why you went into the trade, right? The break of structure, retrace, this would be predominantly, right? The theory would be this is a protected low since we have a break here. Now this you'd likely need this for the full break of structure up, but the start of it has to come from something, right? We've got to have some sort of signs that the relentless lower lows and lower highs is starting to shift. you know, I mean, you call it a chalk, you call it what you want, right? It's just it's a market structure shift, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? Something shifted. Now we can get into an entry here in the discount, right, with better risk reward. So my suggestion, right? So what we always are trying to do here is not spoon feed you trades, right? So many people do that, but I think that's a disservice to our members. If I'm spoon feeding them to you, there's no value for you. What we're teaching is a methodology so you can do it yourself, right? So that's why I continually say to you, same thing every time. That's the edge. That's our edge. The technical approach is the same every time, right? Now we use contemporary market structure and all the ICT concepts, right? Because it's so popular, but it dovetails into Elliott Wave perfectly, right? You can't do one without the other. Well, you can't do Elliott Wave without market structure, right? You can ignore the fives and threes in market structure if you choose to. Why you would do that is beyond me, but you know, teach their own. Okay, right. So here's an entry model that we can look at and say, okay, and that can be applied to any pivot here, particularly if we're completing something that we anticipate to be the potential pivot turn here of a C to get us into a 4-wave. Big upside. Wouldn't matter, right? If you took this trade and you got stopped out, you would take that 100 out of 100 times based on this setup. If it gets stopped out, well, then we readjust. But then the whole thing, right, this whole thing would move down to wherever we get the lower pivot, right? The same thing. Have to have the market structure shift, got to have the retrace, so we're buying in the discount. Same thing every time, right? That's the edge. Don't lose track of that, right? Don't wing it. If you don't have an entry model that you can replicate every time, then you're just flying by the seat of your pants, right? You'll give into the emotion. Oh, it's going up, I got to buy it. Oh, it's going down, I got to sell it, right? So you want to have a very mechanical approach to an entry model. This would be one we advise, right? Which would be in sync with market structure and Elliott Wave and fibs, etc. So I think this is a great setup. I mean, great chart to be looking at here. But is it ripe for a long? Not at the moment. Much better for a short. Too late for the short? Well, you're in the midst of the 3. Right? So, if we go to an hourly, let's get this off of there. 1, 2, nice 3 into the 2. This looks a little bit 4-ish. It's no telling, right? So what do we do, right? So if you're analyzing that, where do they usually go? Does that look like we're done here? It's not that it couldn't be, right? Again, we're out of log scale, but we're not 100 length. Now, the 3 doesn't have to be the longest, just can't be the shortest. So would you call it 3 working on a triangle for a 4? Possibly. Wouldn't be unusual. We've got the big gap in here, right? So that might be affecting the distance. For me, that's where it's not ripe, right? I'd be looking for the short down here. So the watch list, again, I'm not saying don't trade it. I'm just saying if you're applying our methodology here, this would be a green banana, right? It's looking great for a buy down here. This was the short. Now I think you're kind of committed to waiting for the 5 to complete. It's my view, right? Just only that. But here, just looking at the hourly, yeah, I think you got to wait on that. Okay, right. But your longer term TA was excellent. Let's go to a 3-day. Out of curiosity, how this looks out here. Now, note out of log scale, pretty dramatic difference. Is it not? Right. So here, this set of median lines, how beautiful, right? Well, here's your. Well, we got it here, 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 here. The other side. Right, it's always the decision here at the median line. What are we doing? Which side are we going to? That looks like a beautiful setup down here. I just drew in here potentially a demand zone. Looks like a nice contender to be up here in the 400s if we're going to complete that 5. I wouldn't bet against it. Okay, that's Bilal. Thanks for that one. Okay, Rajay13 was asking about DOGE. I've got that right up here. I happen to have a pretty good chunk of this, right? So this is fun to see. Let's go out to what do I got there? Let's go to a daily here and take a look at this. Now I am in log scale here. We've got to be 4 times the range here from 5 cents to 47 cents. Yeah, we got to look at it in log scale. So this is the TA that I've done on this. Again, I've got a pretty good piece of this. Do we have a use case for Doge? Anybody? Not that I know of, right? Does that matter, right? Do we care? Well, at some point it's going to matter, but right now it doesn't, right? Nothing in crypto, right? Wait, do we have use cases? Well, we're going to, right? I'd like to think. But Doge, what it's going to be transactional. Are you going to buy your Starbucks coffee with Dogecoin, or are you going to buy a car? What? I don't know. Right now, I think it's more of just a trading vehicle, but it's certainly in a bull market. So here we go. All right, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I don't see any other way to count it. The big one here is clear. Oh, this is... Oh, it's a little tricky here. It looks like you'd have to do it. So the 3 here, because this... God damn it. This is such a clear 3. All right, you're going to have to work backwards, I think, likely into a WXY. Oh, at this point, does it matter, right? So, if, we don't get a new low here. We start in but it looks like all of crypto did the same thing, right? So that's kind of a squishy 1, 2. That's not going to be 3, 2. That's not going to be 3. That's not going to be 3. So it looks like we're just in a rip-roaring bull. All of these need to be completing. All right, well, I shouldn't say that. Right, the potential is that all of these are completing here. We'll see, right, if all of them complete. There can be adjustment along the way, but right now, okay, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? What we're trying to complete here now is, this is why color coding and changing the degree is really worthwhile, right? So you don't get lost in going, whoa, God, what? 3, 4, right? All the imbalances down here. So at this moment in time, we're just, here, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it this way. Here's the last low. If I take this, right? So we got right now, you'd be looking here. If your priority was to be buying in the discount, right? You want to be as close to that, got the nice imbalance here. Can you get that? Well, we know a 4, right? Often 23.38. So perhaps you're going to use a secondary pivot here. That's not much of a pivot. Let's try a 4-hour. Something else we could use here? Did this do anything? No, it didn't. So this is you're doing this because you want, that's what you're hoping. This is not a pivot that does, so you don't have enough of a pullback here. So that's a bogus pull, right? You want to pull from here. So does the 4 get back down here? Well, we shall see, right? It may be that you have to wait for this to complete, right? If you want to try and be mechanical, methodical about your approach rather than, oh my God, it's going up, I got to buy some, right? And like, oh, maybe the 4's here. Okay, well, again, you'd want to have some meaningful pivot here that accomplished something rather than just, oh, okay, well, there's an imbalance there. Let's go there. Now, I'm not saying you couldn't get away with that. I'm just saying that's not consistent with a methodology. Well, pardon me. That's not consistent with our methodology. Right? I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying that's not what we would teach you. Right now, let you decide the value there. But 1, 2, that's got a long way to go. 1, 2, not 3, not 3. Only leaves so many choices here. So if that's the 3, well, then we're doing the same thing here. Now I'd be pulling 2 here. If I'm up here, all right, you'd be still looking for some sort of a pivot. You would need something bigger. Oh, come here. You would need something that accomplished something, that broke some microstructure here. So then I could pull from something like this, right, where I'd have a meaningful pivot, so I could do it again, right? So if I'm up here, right, can I get in the discount? Now that's going to be a little askew because I'm in log scale, but that's the idea. Don't just be careful, right? So when you get up here, it's so easy to FOMO into it. Word to the wise, right? I've done it, right? I've done it many times. So I advise you not because I want to see you make as much money as possible. Trust me. Your choice, right? But I would be very careful about chasing a pump like that. Okay, all right. So that's Doge. Nothing to do here until something completes, right? Or you get this kind of a 4 that would give you something to work with. Right, you see how that would go right here, right? So ideally you'd have, it's in a perfect world, and you may not get perfect, you're going to get some sort of a break here to suggest, oh, okay, well now if I come back here, now I've got a premium discount, right? If this is going to be 4 and this is going to be 1 of all right, so let's label it. So this, just follow through with me. Right, that's what you'd be trying to get. So you'd be looking to get in right here, right after this little market structure shift, change of character, whatever we're going to call it, right? Which would have a little market structure shift internally here, suggesting the 3, and now we're going right. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, next up I've got Ben B here, and he's looking at Fortuna Mining Company, FSM. All right, this is some good looking work. Oh, Ben B, right? He gets better every week. This is a good looking post. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? That's, again, 5s and 3s. I feel like it's kind of silly repeating it every week, but there it is. There's the big 3, right? So big up. What really matters here, right? We hold the low. So we have a swing. We retrace, 85, 90% of it, and then we keep going up, right? So the trend doesn't change. So as we get to a low down here for this candidate for the ABC, we get a nice finish here with it. So it all looks good. Now note what happens here, right? The first thing that gives us some conviction that we have the low here is right here when we get that market structure shift, right? So boom. Okay, now retrace, right? There it is, exactly what I was just describing, right? It's a little bit safer. Now, do we get to the 50? We do not, right? So here, we don't get there. You don't get to the premium. Bummer. It's going to happen. So, oh, you missed one. It won't be the last one you miss, right? So just keep that in mind. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, damn. I missed it. Wonder if I'll get another chance. Well, after that miss here, do we complete the 5, right? Well, we do, and it's a bit, some liquidity being swept up there, you think, perhaps? Maybe, right? Sweep, sweep, sweep. What do? We grab that liquidity and down we go. Now, so, oh, hey, I got a completed 5, right? Again, just trying to keep it as simple as I can so it's not complicated, because we can always complicate. Oh, okay, can I buy it in the discount? I don't know, can you? I got another 5. Okay, I got one here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got a 1. I got an ABC. I don't know that you missed that one, or I don't know that we still need it, right? But just to be consistent. Go, right? So we got an ABC to get us done here for a 2 in the discount, right? So, oh, we missed that one, but we got this one. Now, can we do it again? Where's the discount? Pretty close. All right, very close to getting stopped out, but very close. All right, what do they say? Hand grenades and horseshoes. Not stopped out would have been that would have been easy to. That's why if you've got to stop underneath here, when it gets close, don't just go, oh, they're gonna get it, I better just get out now. What do we see coming down? It's not a new low. Buying in the discount. Right? Would you want to buy it down here? Well, I'm not saying you would, or that I would. I'm saying I would want to see some evidence that something has changed. I get here. Boom. Now, this is interesting, right? Note what happens again. It's a tricky market here. 2. Again, I don't get my 2 in the discount. So I miss again here. Oh, so those are probably hard to see here. Let me brighten that color up. 1, 2. Oh, motherfucker. Right? They did the same thing here. Right, you feel like, oh God, I'm nailing this, I'm nailing it. Right? I missed that one, but I got that one, I got that one. Oh, you fuckers! Right, it's going to happen. Right, having this kind of discipline means you're going to miss trades. Get over it. There'll be another one. But well, you tell me. Will there be another one? I completed a 5 here. Is that going to be my 2? Well, okay, let's get this in the appropriate 50 for log here, right? So because if you're in log scale, right, you got to tweak, you got to adjust for that 50. Did we get into the discount? Well, now clearly you would have been thinking 1, 2 here, right? But we don't get it. So now this is good work from Ben, because he's now become a very skilled elitician to go 1, 2. Oh, well, that's not going to work for what you're anticipating, because your thought would be, oh, it's in here. 1, 2, 1, 2. Would you have known? Of course not, right? You'd have been thinking 1, 2, 1, 2, right? As we've seen through so many assets, right? Well, particularly in crypto, you'd have been thinking 1, 2. Oh, I see, it's 1, 2. Oh. Right? Not so, right? So what's happening now? So you have to adjust accordingly, right? Your forecast was not correct. Is that the end of the world? No. Right? So now we have this double down here for some liquidity. This seems a reasonable thought. Well, let's see. I'm on daily. Let's go to a 4. See if is there a good A, B, C in there. Yeah, I think we could probably live with that. It's a little squishy. This one very clear. All right, so a WXY, okay, it's very doable. Right? You can understand. Oh, well, there's a couple of things here that are noteworthy, right? Just things to always look for, right? To the little liquidity sweep up here. They're doing it down here. Well, you can see all the spots, right? So this just, I do this not because I want you to see how brilliant we are in hindsight. It's just I want you to do the same thing. Okay, right. Where's the liquidity? What could they be going up here? If they go for this and then they don't, and we retrace, where is it? Next liquidity likely to be, right? It's nothing's 100% in the markets, but it's very consistent. You'll see the market move from internal to external, right? So we're right now, if we're looking for external, if we're looking at this range here or this range here, right, which wouldn't be unreasonable, where's the external liquidity of this range? We could even do it this way. We're sitting right at equilibrium. All right, it has not officially swept this, so I wouldn't. Right, so having a Y down here lower is not an unreasonable thought, right? They didn't get it, right? Surprisingly, they being algos or whomever, the composite man, however you want to think of it, who actually controlling the market. Okay. Anything to do there? I think that's a hurry up and wait. You never want to take a trade because, God, it got off to such a good start. Maybe it'll just continue. Well, maybe. And one thought could be, oh, could this be a diag? Well, I don't think that works as well because think about it here. If this, you're going to have this for your A, right? That's going to have to be your A, and then, or pardon me, well, A, B, C into a 1 if we're thinking of a diag, and then I get this for my 3. Doesn't seem to work. The mismatch is so huge. I wouldn't count it that way. So I think what he's got here, and on the idea that this is corrective, is perhaps a better way to look at it. And then just for kicks, let's see how we did up here. Now, so we have a break here. So you've lost Al, right? Despite the fact that might make you think, oh God, bull's in charge, right? So it looked like you had 1, 2. This would have been 1, 2, and we're going to go 3, 4, 5, right? So counts change, but it's certainly that right here. That's what you would have been thinking. 1, 2. Oh, we're 1, 2. Off we go, right? Rolls over and something else happens. So you have to adjust the count, right? You can't be stubbornly, God, I'm sure that thing's going to go. Well, maybe it is going to go, but maybe all that's going to happen here is you're going to get a better price below, right? And maybe you took a loser here, right? I mean, if you did, get used to it. It's welcome to trading, right? Losers are part of the process, how you deal with them or how you manage through the drawdown of the risk, right? And that's a different set of skills. So looking at this now, there's no reason to force something here. You're sitting smack dab. If we do low to high, you're smack dab in the middle. There's no edge for you here. Here. Now, we have a higher degree count that we can lean back into. But what are we looking, really, what we're after here? Let me change that color. Let's go to blue. What we're after here is the low for the 2. This is what we're after. It's just doing it in a more complex fashion than this beautiful crystal clear. Oh my God, come on, a 7-year-old can get that, right? We got a clear impulse, but the corrections, right, are always what challenges the elitician. Okay, so back down here, well, what would be your first thought be? Okay, well, if this is the start of that impulse, somewhere down here would be where you'd be looking for that to conclude. Now, of course, it could go lower. But this would be ideal, right? Where you can have an algo kick with you. Let's put that down in micro as well. W, X. Right, this is blown up, right? That very valid thought. Down you go. What are we thinking? What are we looking for? A, B, C. Do we get it? So I think you sit on this until we break out of this range, right? Either we're going to break this high and maybe we're back here reevaluating. Is this turning into some sort of a diag? Well, if it is, right, that even still, that may not be the trade you want, a much better looking trade down here. Okay, right, so with that Ben B, I think you'd probably agree with me. Okay, let me keep going. Oh, next I've got Depeche. I'm always looking forward to seeing what he's doing. But this was a great first start here and good post, Ben. Okay, hang on. Okay, next up this is Depeche, right? We're very glad to have Depeche in. He's putting up some great work here. He's a very skilled technician and Elliottian. So glad to have him in the community. This is he's on the China 50 here, the CN50. I don't know how many of you are trading that, but I think the broader point is here. It's not something I trade, but does it matter? To me, it makes no difference to me. A chart's a chart. They all trade the same way. So as you see here, okay, why does it get any different with this asset? Any different? Oh, this is a challenging count, no doubt about it. Here, we're starting from this low here, going up to where as he's framed it with this channel. Okay, pretty, a little tricky on the start, and there's a massive extension here in the third. 4, 5. Okay, 1. Look how these are. Guys, heads up here. ABC, what do we do? Golden zone. Into the A, shallow B, right? Unusually shallow B, up for the C for a B. So I've got an A, I've got a B. Now I get a I guess I get a running flat because that would be 90%. So I've got 3, 3, 5 into a running flat. This one here on the push down, we break the golden zone and get the 707. Still very valid, right? This is a nice touch that he does where he puts all 3 of them in there. So just a little tip that might be worthwhile because the 707 or 70 as he's got it here, it's always a good spot for a stop underneath the golden zone. So A, B, C into a W. A, tricky, nice wedge here. As we go A, B, C, right, golden. So I think of everything he's listed here, this is the only one that goes through the golden zone here. So we got 1, 2, oh, pardon me, that one goes through golden zone, right? It's just another golden zone here. It's just nonstop, right? So 1, A, B, C into a W, A, B, C into an X, right? That's a big X, right? But not crazy. A, clear 5, clear 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, a little truncation down here. It happens. All right, he makes a good point. Now that's a big if. If U.S. markets tank, well, we certainly have everybody on the same side of the boat at the moment, and greed is running rampant. So careful, right? It's, my view, nobody likes to hear it. I don't think this ends well, but okay, right? So for the time being, it's, game on and risk on. Okay, so here's the 2. So after all that, 1, after all this, right? But at the end of the day, it is really just a big 3. It's a big 3, unusual, right? And it takes a lot of Elliott Wave experience and skill and study to nail that the way he has. Clearly, he spent a lot of time studying. Into a 2. Just makes me curious. It's going to end up being kind of shallow here. But pivot to pivot. Right, because algo is not going to care about your Elliott count. We're just going to go dominant low to dominant high. 50, couple of bangs at the 50, and then we get the launch. Interesting. 1. This is great work. All right, so he's doing a little, forecasting here if we're going to go up to this and then come back down. So it'd be golden to golden, which you see all the time. So we got our Y. So what are we doing here? Is that 1? Well, hard to assume anything else, right? The only thing that's unusual is that we truncate down here. But we've got these rejection blocks down here. So this is, come here. Get into that? Not quite. So unmitigated. All of this. Nope. We get right to the 50. Right to the 50. So, okay, right. Now, would you have known, right? Would you have known? No, you wouldn't have, right? And you might have been tempted, right? Saying, oh, wait a second, right? Is there an extension here? right? This is the first sign that maybe we've got a little trend change, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Oh, something changed. So how would you look next, right? If this is the one, does it look like it's done here? Or does that look like an A working on a B? B could be higher. Oh, let's get in there a little further. Would I be hard pressed? Oh, let's do it again. Hard pressed to see how anybody would approach this differently. Let's go to a 4. Let's see how we look down here. 1, 2. Oh, that's a little. That gets a little squishy. You might have to go to a 1. Can we get one in there? Not much of a 2, but it looks like, oh shit, it looks like you're going to have to take a 2 out of here. That's a tricky one. Right, well, not a particularly attractive 2 here, but that looks like a 3, 4 coming into a 5. Is it perfect? No, it's definitely not. This could be a WXY, ABC. Probably got a triangle here of some sort. A, B, or WXY, ABC to finish that. It's there, right? So you might have to do it as a diag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the C. Now, what are we doing? As we sit, right? Knowing, obviously, this is something that loves the golden zone. Doesn't matter. Any time frame, any asset, always going to be there. Always, always, always. Okay, right. So we got a 1, 2. All right, are we doing another 1, 2? Well, it's very, very reasonable to anticipate that they did the same thing. 1, 2, 1, 2. I can't make this up. 3, 4, 5, something like that. To get this finished down here. So this would be, if we're going to do it as an A, B, and then we're going to look for a C to finish this to give us a 2 down here. Do we get it? Well, it's off to a good start. So if I bring his in, something like this, to get it down here for that 2. Right, here's a golden zone as he's marked these. Let's go to a 4. Right, so here's the 61875. Right, A or let's just go 3, 3. We're looking for 5 to come down. Do we get it here? So big inefficiencies down here. Right, there you got fair value gap here. So anything down here, plus of course would be, as he's noted here, here's the 618, 65, 70. Anywhere in here would be looking for a buy. But what would we want to see? Some sort of a break of or market structure shift, something to give us a suggestion that the low is in. We don't, do it if you like, but I think you're going to find that over time, you'll want to wait for some evidence here. So now if this is the last pivot, if this goes straight down, you got to wait for that to break. And then then you're taking it here, looking for that. Same thing, right? There has to be consistency to it or you're winging it. You're winging it. You will be emotional about your decisions if you don't have a mechanical approach that's not subjective, as in, God, it just felt like it was going to go. That won't survive over time, right? You take my word for it or learn the hard way. It's up to you, right? Here, another perfect golden zone. Again, I can't make that shit up, right? 6 years I've been showing it. Again, not my discovery. All I did was put the 65 on it, right? It's David Halsey's work. I always want to give him credit so that nobody anticipates that I'm trying to take credit for it. I am not. I've seen it so many times. Anyone who's watched more than 5 videos of mine, I can't believe that wouldn't be the first thing you check. Right? It's always the first thing to check. Okay, so that's CN50. Love it down here. So if you want to play over here, alert. And something to watch, right? In the meantime, okay, well, right, if U.S. markets tank, right, if, where's the money going to go? Good, great stuff, Depeche, right? Really love your work. Okay, there's a second folder for a diag. Let's see here, hang on. Where's my tree? Let's see, if I do this, does it all go away? Yeah, I guess, and then if I think I do this, oh, here's his diag. Okay, right. So here's a different. Let me pull out for the daily. I don't want to leave if he's got another idea. I want to look at it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, sure, I think I like the other one better. But that's all right, right? So he knows to at least have an alternative, right, in case that this thing gets blown out, that he's got something already ready to go. If I push this off here, based on prior work that he's already done. A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? You'd have to truncate here. And then the initial push here, right? Which obviously that looks like that's tied to the rally in U.S. market. 1, 2. Oh, and they've just done some stimulus over there. So are we in here? Well, as he's noted, right? So the first thing that he posted was his primary, right? It's always good to have a secondary just in case, so you're not, completely starting from scratch should your primary get invalidated. All right, great work. Okay, let me keep moving here. So now I've got Q. Okay, this is from member Q, just the letter Q. With his Bitcoin counter, it's a beautiful channel here. So let's pull back, right? There's a lot of counts on this. I'm going to pull the volume off the chart just for a sec. Okay, how's he getting here? A, B, C into an X, A, B, C. I'm thinking he's going with the triangle, right? So, which is, I think, what most of us within the Tradedevils community and the senseis as well, I think this has the best solution here. It gets a little thin here, but we hold the low. So the underthrow, where are you? Underthrow here. Right, in the proposed E wave, right, I get the 1, I get the 2, I hold the low, and off we go. So nice work. This is very consistent with what I think most of us have. Okay, so 1, 2, 1. Okay, well this is a variation. Perfectly valid. Perfectly valid. Okay, so one possibility here is that, let's see, how's he going to do it? You have to do it here. Okay, so we'd have ABC into a 2, right? After this 1 here. Let me brighten that color up a little bit so you can see it better. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, right. So it's less bullish, but that's not necessarily problematic, right? It's a high class problem if we have another 1, 2 in there, because of course another possibility here is that this is a 1, 2, right? And we go, right, which is something that many of us have considered. How are we going to know, right? We're not going to know until we see what completes up here. So this is perfectly valid. A, B, C into an expanded B, and then come down for the C. It's good thinking, right? And not crazy bull porny. 1, 2, clearly the 3. Now I was encouraged to see this because if I put, so for example, where is it? Here, right? So if we look at this, right, and we look at, this is the volume profile from this post-election when we get the rip. Okay, the consolidation up here is we found value in, because all of this is a bit thin on the way up, but as we consolidated here, you see the high volume node here, so we have acceptance. Now the market from that acceptance, a little price discovery, where are we going? Is this going to be our 4? Mighty skinny. That's the only thing that gives me a little bit of pause to put the 4 here relative to that 2. So Q, I'm assuming at some point you'll see this. Do you understand my thinking? Right? So if we draw it, right, which is often just a good idea. So if we're going to do this, we're going to do this into the 5, right? So it doesn't quite have the right look, does it? Not that I'm not saying your count's not right. I'm not saying this is not good work. I'm just looking at going, okay, based on what we have here, the way you're counting it, I would be reluctant to nail that down as my primary just because of that. Right now, I'm not saying that that's not right. I'm just saying something to think about. Okay, so what's an alternate here? Well, certainly one possibility is the 3's not done, right? Most people are saying, okay, we're just not bullish enough. All right, so how might we interpret this with that 3 still going? Well, first, let's do some measuring, right? It's always a good idea. It takes just seconds. Okay, if that's the 2, okay, well, okay, that's a good thought, right? So right off the bat, where's the 3 usually go? Okay, well, good, right? So right in the high probability location. But again, I come back to, is that going to be the 4 relative to this 2, right? The balance is off. Again, the market's not obligated to balance out your Elliott count. I'm just saying, what do they usually do? What do they usually look like? So this, to me, this all looks like 1 impulsive move, right? So I want to try and keep this all self-connected. So let's see if we can do it, but push the 3 up a little bit higher. So my thought here is I would be, okay, there's some sort of a very, very, Bitcoin's notorious for this, very shallow 2 here. So if I can do it like this, let's get that to an appropriate degree, something like this. Okay, just, yes, right. And again, Bitcoin is just notorious for this, right? It's shitty 2s, right? There's no retrace. Once it starts, right, it just goes. 6 years I've been doing this, right? That would be probably the most common characteristic of Bitcoin, right? It doesn't give you a good 2. Not always, but this looks to me like I've got something. So see if I draw it here. 1, 2, 3. If that's the 4, and I go up for the 5, now, right? It looks better. Better look, right? So is that subjective? Yes, to a degree. Yeah, it is subjective. Okay, is that a problem? Well, we're always trying to be objective as we can. So something here that's a better fit with what historically they tend to look like. Again, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying something to consider. Can I get that entire impulse self-contained all underneath this? What do you got there? Moving average, what do you got? 21, right? Good. That's my favorite too. So, okay, this nice little wedge in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what would that suggest, right? We're still working on the 3, not that the 3's in. This is all just... Geez, what this could be the 3, could be the 1 of 3. Whoops, depends on how bullish you are. Okay, next up. Here, a little edit there. This is COTI. COTI, right? So I don't know that I've ever looked at this before. This is COTI. He's over on Binance. So whenever something like this comes up, COTI, and I go, what the fuck? What? Okay, why do I care about COTI? What is it? What's their story? So I always just come over. There's many of these. What is COTI? Okay, well, blah blah. It's a very common description. Okay, right. So the premise is there a use case for it today? Well, not for retail, but these are building blocks, right? This is infrastructure. So paving the way for the next wave of Web3 innovations and adaptation. It unlocks a whole new world of use cases. Okay, well, how about one? Can I get one use case? Now, again, I'm not saying that there's no reason to be long here, right? Obviously, it's, trending market, but so much of crypto is I could copy paste this into probably 1,000 coins. Paving the way for the next wave, right? So the idea is, okay, some of these are going to be massively successful as we eventually get some use cases, but right now this is all infrastructure. So you just keep that in mind when you're looking at an asset like this. There is nobody using. Well, I shouldn't say that. The retail community, is not using this. Right? Okay, I don't want to shit on COTI, right? As I would say the same thing for 90% of the altcoins, right? Some are going to succeed because they're going to find a use case, but right now it's all infrastructure. Okay, so WXY looks like I got a 1, 2, 3, or 5. Now, note he's giving me a weekly here. Let's just go down slowly so we can look for some subdivision here, see if we can make some use of this. So it looks like we're going to have to do this as a diag with a big kick in the 5th. Okay, that's no problem. That's probably fine here. ABC, no, fuck, doesn't matter. ABC to finish it. Okay, so we're doing the same thing. Let's go to a daily. Right, there's that 3 that so many of alts in particular, Bitcoin as well. We got to do it as a diag, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, extension of the 5th, much like we had over here. So we're doing it again. Let's get in there and take a look at his work here. Okay, so here's the low. Let's just do it this way. We are in log scale. So here's this here. Let's go to 50 for log. So we got into the discount. Yeah, I think we have to do this. We have to complete the 1 here because otherwise this 3 here would be a little problematic here. Jeez, everything's white. Okay, so let's let me change some of these just a little bit here so make it easier for everybody to see those. Okay, so I got an A, B, C. All right, so we can just quickly fill it out. A, B, C gives us the 2 down here, and let's go to a 4 hour so you can get out of there. Okay. There's the B, there's the C of a 2 in the discount, well in the discount. Gets a good pop for an impulse off of the low. 1, 2, 3, 4. WXY, pretty tricky. I think let's go down to a 60 to really see it in here. Okay, this is some good work. So 1, 2, right now we start to see a little bit more, right? The lower time frame, we can see the separation here. 1, 2, 3, sideways into the 4, right? 4 is always, not always, but usually the easiest thing to spot is we don't progress the trend. So we get this, we just do it this way here. You get the little break of structure. It looks like, what is he using? Something like algo. Okay, so 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. COTI, I'm going to just give you another one to think about, right? So because it looks like I can complete a diag here. So I'm going to push that off. I'm going to push this up here. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives me a 5 up here. So candidate here for either an ABC or WXY, although now that's starting to look pretty bullish. So just not that your count is wrong, I'm just giving you just another way to look at it, possibly. Right? I mean, this is how I would do it. Not that I don't want to deter you from your count. This is what I see, right? So, okay. Yeah, I think you're kind of stuck with that, right? So there's the 5. Okay, so there's the 3. Now, do we know is it done here? Same idea. All right. Could we be done? Of course, right? Of course we could be done. But you want to chase it now? Well, if you are, you're making a pretty big assumption. So what's the assumption you're making? All right, we can just count it right out. You're thinking 1, 2, 3 coming in for 5, right? Okay. So let's take this one up a degree. And let's put these in green here. Okay, so I got a candidate here. Now just that, right? So of course, one possibility is this WX and we're coming down for a Y, right? Certainly you can't take that off the board. But right now we got this big impulsive, right? So this would be, you know, the footsteps of some size here. All of the, did we get any? Actually, that's interesting, right? So all of these, there is no imbalance here. All of these were rebalanced on the way down. It's just your one time framing, right? We don't take out the highs of any of the candles until we get right here. So there's the first sign. Come here. Here's the first sign that we're getting a little change here as we get this big push here. Now we leave these imbalances here. But no, it's a good thing to note here. We don't get any overlap of any of the highs, but we don't leave any imbalances. So this is, the market is moving efficiently down here. 1, 2, you know, let's even do a 30 here. 1, 2. I mean, it's very possible here that there's another kick here. But right now, as it sits, is that a great one? Well, no, right? And it could be 1, 2, 3, right? This could all go higher, right? These are high class problems, right? So you see what I'm saying here, I think. So here, let's do it this way. Could this be then in turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at that degree? So we go down 1. Let's go to blue, right? So you can see, okay, so maybe I got 1, 2, 1, 2. It's hard to call that because really, what do you have here? It's just the accumulation. Oh, fuck me, come here. Why is it doing that? Huh, that's weird. What is it doing? Why is it giving me a line when I want a square? That's odd. Okay, so but you see what I'm doing? I'm just trying to, I guess it's not gonna let me. Let's try to do it down here, right? So I've got consolidation here. We're wicking on both sides here, and then we go. All right, so it's a little early to lean into too much there with a whole lot of conviction. How would you know, right? I'm already down to a 30-minute consolidation, but I've got wicks here. I've got higher, you know, we break this candle. I get a lower high, higher low. As we were talking about before, what's the target? Oh, Jesus, something I'm going to have to refresh here. But you can see here, something's not giving me. There we go. Right, so just a tick to go through. What are they doing? They're grabbing liquidity, right? So it's a reload back down here, right, to the imbalance. Now, do we know that it's going to stop here? No, we don't, because remember, this could be WX, and we're going to go down for a Y, right? We aren't going to know until we see what happens as this comes down lower. So is that a potential buy? Well, yeah, potentially, right? But do you want to buy it right now? Well, I'd want to see, I'm already down to a 30. I'd want to see some signs that we're going to hold here, some signs of some sort of a bounce. Some sort of a little push here so I can just sweep, take a very low risk, right? Because the assumption is we're just going up here to finish that before 4 and 5 to follow. But that's it's a whole, that's tricky to lean too heavily into that. Maybe. Okay, right, so I think that's a hurry up and wait. And this, again, if you get a little pop here, they're coming right into the 21, right into this imbalance. I wouldn't shy away from that, but I wouldn't go heavy on that just yet. Okay. Okay, next up is Ton Coin. Shit, I don't know how to say it. Ton. Holly Life, sorry, Holly Life gave me this. Now, Holly Life prefers to work with geometry and fibs, and it's not one that applies a lot of Elliott Wave, which is absolutely fine. It's only advised if it helps you, right? If it doesn't assist, right, you don't spend time just letting it confuse you. So he's perfectly capable of trading successfully with just as you see here, with volume profile, structure, channels, geometry. Right, he's bullish here, coming off of the double bottom down here. Now, can we put some Elliott Wave on this and see if that's an assist to it? Well, here again, I don't know whose work this was. I just pulled this up, so this may be someone. It's not mine. It's often the case, right? Whenever I copy their stuff, right? So maybe his. I'm not sure whose this is, but one, it looks pretty good here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a clear 1. A, B, C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the 1. Shallow 2 again, right? When crypto runs, it's not uncommon. 1, 2. There's the completed 3. A, B, C into the 4. Looks like we're good here for this 1 into the 4. Now 1, 2. Well, it looks like whoever this is, again, I'm not sure who this is already in, right? They've got a clear target up here looking for the 5 here. So in fairness here, I should do it like this, right? So we don't know where it could be out here. 3, 4, is that going to be 5 of 3? Let's take this up a degree, right? High class problem. 1. Here, I guess we can get it all in here. 1, 2. So again, does it have right look? Right look? Yeah. Yes, that is the right look. Right. Sometimes you lose that. So I always encourage you to draw it, right? Just for your own benefit, right? Not for mine. It's just but I do this all the time. Okay, do I have the right look here? It's just that it gives you a little bit more conviction, right? Just to stick with this thing, because he's already made a little money, right? If he's levered, shit. No, let that go, right? That's the have a stop on it, right? Particularly if you're trading with any leverage, but it's the hardest thing to do is let something run, right? Oh my God, I'm up, X amount of dollars. I got to take it. No, let it complete. Well, that's my suggestion, right? You've set it up perfect. That you got just what you wanted here. You got an incredibly low risk trade. Don't what you want? Start seeing some confirmation here, right? So you want to start seeing some of these pivots getting swept, right? There'll be obvious targets, right? It's not hard to spot them, right? You want to see some of these start getting swept as we head towards that third. Very nice work, Ton Coin, and thanks for that one, Holly Life. Looks like you're right on track here, right? So, I mean, still not too late for anyone looking at this. I mean, shit. You could take that right now. In fact, I may. As I often say, well, I do not kid around when I'm telling you I get some of my best trade ideas from members because I can't watch everything. So good ideas here. 1, 2. That's skinny. Man, could that gotten any lower? No, but a good launch, right? So you can be right. It's just perfectly set up, right? It's a perfect setup. Okay, that's Ton. Oh, I got more from Depeche. Let's see what he's thinking. Oh, I got a few guys that are adding on down here. Okay, so let me get, let's see what Depeche is looking at here. So hang on a second. Okay, I got another one here from Depeche, and this is a bear of a count. Oh, well, I'm going to say bitch, so we don't confuse it. I'm saying it's bearish. Okay, so this is ARKM. Oh, fuck. What is it? ARKM? Again, I have no idea what the use case is, so this is just again one of many places to come. Okay, some sort of AI. Is there use case? Well, it's an AI artificial to denominate the blockchain on-chain data. I don't fuck. This is totally inside baseball, right? This is infrastructure, AI related infrastructure. It's not for retail. Is there going to be a use case for it? Well, again, it's infrastructure based. I'll let you read here and decide whether you think that's worthwhile. Do we care over here? How's it trading? Now, is that bullish? So off of the low here, I'm on Binance here. I'm going all the way back to, where we go back here to 23. Some sort of a diag 1-2. Obviously, we get a big ripping impulse that comes out of it. So, okay, 3. A, B. Now, this gets a little tricky on the way down. So he's got 2 counts in here. Of the 2, I think this looks better. There's a little bit of, he's working with what's here, right? So the potential here, if I can move this thing, is we've got oh shit, can I move it? We've got a truncated fifth down here. So right off the bat, this gets a little, we're do it as a diag. Well, we don't have to overlap, so you can make a case, right? So here we don't, since that's no longer a requirement per EWI. ABC, 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 ABC. Right, right again, Ellie, it's not perfect, right? Don't expect it to be. So here's one where you go, shit, I'm not sure. So I would have been reluctant to be a buyer here. I would have been anticipating this, right? Just knowing how my brain thinks, I'd have been thinking that. One more down here to complete this, and maybe it's a WX, Y, X. We get an A, B, C to come down, but that's not what comes off of it. So you adjust accordingly. So the question is, okay, is there anything here that's going to be problematic if I'm coming back here that's going to invalidate? Well, coming off of the low, it sure looks like I get a pretty good impulse. Now, I might, surprised to be saying this, right? He's so skilled. I might beg to differ with this count just a little bit. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. I don't think that's in dispute, but why not finish it here? Not sure what his thinking is. Well, so here I'll just kind of put this in as an alternate, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Seems okay. Not much of a 2 here, but good looking for into the 5. Okay, so that's a contender, which I'll have to look at his secondary count to see if that's in there. Where this, of course, we get as I highlighted it here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So that I think that would be influencing my thinking here as a candidate for a 1. Well, that would mean, okay, we've got another leg in here. Oh, let's push this off just for a second. So if we're gonna launch here, let me see if I can do it here on the fly. So this would be 1, 2. Let's put this up here. Question about where we're going to put that. Well, we get a. That's tricky, right? So I can see why he's got two contenders here. This is very tricky here to stay with rules and guidelines here and not get too wacky. There's a 3, right? We can't argue with that. So the first thing that I struggle with a little bit here is do I have a W here? Is there really? Oh shit! I'm on a 4-hour. ABC. Eesh. I'd be more inclined to put it here. ABC into the X, ABC into the Y. Oops. Well, let's see. If I come over here, and I'm sure Depeche would agree with me here. There's a bit of a guesstimate here. Could be the 2's over here. We'd have some sort of a WXY here. Let's see if I can do it. This triangle. No. Tough call, right? We could 3, 3, 5, right? It doesn't really work. So what do we have here, right? So when in doubt, consolidation, right? We've got a mystery, right? So I might leave it that way going, okay, if this starts to unravel here, I might come back here. But looking at that, I'm not sure either he or I are going to have a lot of conviction in what's come out of here. You do see the finish here. Again, is that a 3? ABC, you know, where I'm on a 4-hour, even to a 1. I guess you can pull that off there. Not much of an A, B, C, W, X, A, B. Is there a C? It's a little squishy in there. But once I get here, now I get clarity. Right? So even though this would be probably multiple counts, as he's given count, so he's given a count, and I'm adjusting it because there's no definitive. Okay, there, got it. Right? This is a bit of a guesstimate here. So, but this is clear as a bell. So I would look at this and go, okay, well, something has changed here, and then I get clarity out of the slop. So we could do it this way. Oh, well, shit, we can do it this way. I'm in log scale. Okay, all right, I've got imbalances galore down here. So as the market was shooting up here, do we need to rebalance down here? That wouldn't be surprising. Swing low, swing high. Where's the discount, right? We'd want to be a buyer down here if we could, right? If we can be buying in this range here. So golden zone, sure, why not? Right, the premise being that out of this craziness and we're not sure, I get rip-roaring impulse. Okay, so what are we anticipating now? Is that A, B, C? That's how I'd be looking for it. Now we don't know, right? Do I get the higher high here? Do I get this? Do I get that to give me the idea that I'm into a B and looking for the C to come off of that? Right, remains to be seen. I wouldn't long it here, right? I'd be willing to wait. Now that's me, right? Now you might say, oh, a B, oh shit. Well, of course that's going to go up for the C, right? I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying I wouldn't, which for what that's worth. That's just I'm picky about them. Give me it down here. I'm all over it. There's not enough in it, right? You're making the assumption, oh, we're not in the discount. We're just a little disciplined here. Have some rule set. If you think this is completed, why are you buying at the 38? Well, I'm not saying that hasn't been a good 2 before. I'm just saying that's lower probability. Why trade abnormal? Why not trade normal? I looked at his first count here. It's not much better. He's got this as an AB. This is an expanded B. I'm not sure that helps as much any. If I go to, let's mute that one. 1, he had this as an A, right? W, X, Y, 1, A, B, C. I know, right? Sometimes we can make things too hard on ourselves. There's the 1, there's the 2, A, B. That's, it's not like it's not possible. I just think given the bull market, I wouldn't assume that beautiful impulse is part of a correction. And it's just me, right? Again, Depeche, very, very skilled, so I hate to disagree with him, but I think this, no matter how you slice it, this is you better love the story. You better love that if you're going in here now, right? Not looking for something like that. Okay, that's just my opinion, right? Just take it for what it's worth. Hope that gives you some ideas. I don't think there's much dispute about this being also a completed impulse. There's the correction. Impulse, starting the correction. Okay, let me keep moving. I got fellow trader. Let's see what he's got. Okay, this is fellow trader. He's looking at SAGA. I think I'm saying that correctly. Talk about a good pump off of the land onto Binance. That's, it actually fucks up the chart, right? It's kind of annoying. So we kind of have to look at it in log scale. There's not much to do other than that. So we have to deal with that. I want to get it off the chart. I'm going to just hide the volume here just so we can get some screen real estate. Now you look at that and you go, okay, SAGA. Why do I want to own SAGA? Well, it's the same thing. Okay, what is it? I won't read it to you. It's infrastructure, right? Mass adaptation of blockchain is imminent, and developers need base infrastructure that is infinitely scalable, interoperable, cost-effective to support consumer applications, right? So that's a word salad, infrastructure, right? But the key to it is mass adaptation of blockchain is imminent. Right, so you're buying, the infrastructure here. Same thing, right? Virtually, with very few exceptions, damn near every altcoin is going to read something like that, right? It's all infrastructure. Some are going to succeed, most will not, right? Okay, so come over here. Okay, Saga 1. Well, that's a good story they're telling. Wow, this is a little messy here. Okay, so fellow trader. That's kind of hard for us to see, so I'm going to clear this up a little bit here, and not to be in any way disrespectful of the work you put into this, but let's just see if we can see it. Okay, so do I have an impulse off of the low? Or so things always, right, to look for, right? Okay, do I get any sort of a sweep of liquidity, right, to start it, right? That's always the best case. Okay, do I get that little sweep of liquidity? Yes, I do, and then I get imbalances. So good looking start. 1, 2, right? I get a nice 3. Okay, I might adjust a little bit here, not to, I'm always reluctant to do that because I don't want people to feel like, I'm not appreciating their work. Well, you got a little bit of a struggle up here. It looks like you're finishing with a 3, so I don't think that's going to work, right? It would have to be ABC. So let's consider an alternate. So let's go into the subdivision and see, and I don't know, I'm just kind of looking here, is there going to be a, looks like we might, I'm not locking in on anything. I'm just going, okay, let's see how this might look differently. Right? Do we have enough subdivision here to work in a different count that might be a little closer to rules and guidelines? Because we don't want to end with a 3. I'm not saying it's never happened. I'm just saying if I can choose, now, oh shit, that's an 8. Maybe there's a little 1, 2. Let's see what you would have to do here. This is just individual choice, right? Now, are we going to do it this way? Oh fuck! Come here. Is that what you're going to go with? Yeah, it's a 4 hour. Do go to a 1. Let's see, right? I mean, am I being too picky here? Well, again, I come to draw it. Maybe. That wouldn't be my first choice in terms. So all that would mean to me is that I'd want to dig in a little bit. We're saying, is there an alternate here that has a better look, right? That fits better. I'm not saying it's not this. It just makes me go, look at the 2 to the 4, and the 5 to the 1 and 3. I'd be reluctant there. Okay, so let's just look at a possible alternate. Do I have 3 into the 4? Oh shit, where are we going here? I got to back up now so I don't lose myself. Okay, so let's go. We got 1 ABC into the 2, right? So that's pretty hard to miss. Okay, 1, 2. Just what I want to see at any pivot, right? If it's there, it gives me more conviction, right? Did they sweep some liquidity before they went up? Did I get displacement on the way up? Yes. Is it technical? Probably. Right? It looks like it is, right? So we're right in the pocket. Huge ripper. Okay, all right. So the 1, 2 seems valid. It looks like a good start. 1, 2. Let's go back out a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that going to do it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look, so it might be here. Let's see. 1, 2, 1, 2. Well, shit. We're gonna have to do all of them. Okay. Let's not be lazy. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Let's get you over here. 4. I gotta take you up 1. All right, that's why I gotta do this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna do all of them just to be. Oh, probably annoy some of you. All right, get to it. Okay, all right. But if I don't do it this way, you don't learn anything. If you're not here just for trades, because we don't drop trades in your lap. What we're trying to do is teach you a methodology, right? So you can do the same thing. So you don't need anyone's counsel. That's always our objective. 3, A, B, C into the 4. At the 3. Should I got to take this up a degree? And let's change the color because it gets confusing if you don't. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. A, B, C into the 4. That's going to be the 3. So 1, 2, 3, A, B. Let's do the whole thing. All right, it doesn't take that long to do it, so that might push off. So I got a 3. Excuse me. I got a 5 of 3. So this would have to be over here somewhere. A, B, C. I don't think you can do it because this you'd have to be 1, 2. 4. Okay, so how do we deal with that? What was your thought here, right? And again, some people might say, "Oh fuck, man, who cares?" Well, that's a decision you've made, right? As to whether or not you're going to apply Elliott Wave or not, right? Are you going to try and use it to your benefit? Well, if you can't do it partially, right? You're either all in or you're not. You're either going to apply Elliott Wave or you're not, right? And some people go, "Oh, fuck, it's too much work, right? Just give me some lines and boxes." Well, it's to each his own. Okay, so what's a candidate here? I'm still very focused on this 1, right? So anything over here is already overlapped the perspective 1 here, right? Now, do I have it wrong here? Well, if we completed something up here, what's one choice here? If I completed, well, one possibility here is that I completed the 3 here. Well, then we get over here and you're like, oh, well, that doesn't work, right? Because that's not where I want the 4. Tough one. God, here I've got in the middle of this. I got myself into a box. So possibly we're doing it this way, right? So we're gonna let's go to a 30. Maybe I can squeeze it in there. It looks like maybe I can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously, ridiculously big. Put those little ones in yellow so they really stand out. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it great? Well, not really, but okay, that's what's there. That's what I've got to work with. It's not the worst I've ever seen. It's very possible somebody out there is going, "Oh no, I wouldn't do it that way." Well, that's what makes a market. So drawing it, right? So let's be consistent. It's not great. It's not great, but that's what's there, right? And then given what's come off of it, okay, right? So does that give me any more conviction? Well, it makes me a little cautious here. Let's take that one down 1 degree. Makes me a little cautious here. Okay, well then, all right, so but getting the Elliott count perfect is not necessarily the goal, right? As I will always tell you and remind you, and in trading and so many things that we deal with in the markets, our goal is not to be right. Our goal is to be profitable. It's not about being right. At the end of the day, all that matters is, are you profitable? So you can be wrong about a count, wrong about an election, you're wrong about all sorts of things. Bottom line, are you profitable? Who cares right or wrong? Only thing that matters is profitability. Okay, so as I look here, this seems like a pretty solid impulse, right? It seems like a pretty solid 5 coming down. Why would you, I doubt there'd be much dispute in that as a 5. So there's an A, B, C. No, possibly, right? So, okay, I won't bicker here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 looks like a good A. That looks like an A. Looks like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you if this is the A, you might be thinking A, B, C. There's going to be down lower, but it looks like it's technical. So this is a bit of a conundrum. What do you, if that's the B here? What am I on? Shit, I can do a 15. Can we do it? Is it there? 3, 3. Yeah, it is. Okay, we can get it. A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, C. A. Let's get them done, right? There, it's just, it doesn't take that long to do it, right? And it will only serve you well, right, and give you a structure to work with. Let's go up to a micro. Okay, clear impulse. Right, the one thing you don't ever want to do is ignore an impulse, right? Okay, so the market's talking to you here. I mean, it's not like, oh, could be an impulse. It's clearly an impulse. Okay, all right, so let's get a channel up on it. Nice, clean, self-contained impulse, right? So I don't want to ignore that. ABC, right? So now let's look. Where's Al? All right, is Al in here? Yeah, I got a little wiki down here, right? So you note wicks getting through, no close below, right? Wicks, right? Again, let's give them credit where credit is due, right? Or famous from ICT, wicks do the damage, bodies tell the story. That's a damage wick, right? That's likely. That's all liquidity being grabbed. What is it mitigating? Looks like over here we've got a little demand zone. I get right on that low. A little bullish order flow down before the up. ABC. Okay, well, this is not helping. Okay, let's see here. Well, the implication is that we've got another leg to go here because we begin and end in fives, right? So we can't end. Well, let me back that up. Let's go to one here. Okay, on the assumption that we completed here, because now with this overlap here, we'd have to lean into the idea that this completed. There's a clear five, right? So you wouldn't think 5-5, right? That it's done. Ugh. No, I wouldn't try and turn that into a 3. I just wouldn't, right? It's too much of an obvious force fit, and that likely comes back to bite you in the ass. So this looks like A, B, and so I think you could very much be bullish here into the C, with the idea that all you're going to be doing is completing the B up here, right? That's what you're doing. There's the A, B, C, right? That would be perfectly right after the fact, right? If it completes, you'll be like, oh well, of course, of course it's there. Targets 786, right? If we're going to do it, let's measure, right? It's always a good idea to measure. It takes just seconds to do, right? So, oh, look at that. So if we get a measured move up here to a 786 to the length of A projected from the B for the ABC, which is very, very common for a correction, still would stay within the range of correcting this entire impulse down, ABC, right? But the anticipation would be there's one more push down. Maybe you're going to get the algo target. So let's go back to a 4 and see what that might look like. All right, so with all of that out of there, one other little nugget I thought to check here. Do we get a corner pocket here? Look, just barely missing. Doesn't quite make the median line. Now that's close, right? So it would be easy to say, oh, close enough. Well, not so fast, right? So what's the premise, right? We know from Alan Andrews, right, in his research, the failure to make the median line sets up a move equal to or greater than the move that failed to get there, right? So maybe we're coming something like this. A, B, C, right? That's the move that failed to get there. So something like that wouldn't be shocking, right? Market's not obligated. Again, these are just things the market is prone to doing, right? We want to stay with what does it usually do, right? So A, B, C, right? So we'd have then A, B, C, and the whole thing starts again. Nice one. Okay, so who gave me that? That was Fellow Trader. Good choice, right? Good work. Pull this one off. This is the impulse that seems to be really the most influential off of this low. It's too bad, right? Because at 1, 2, to put the 3 here would have been ideal, right? But you're getting forced into that. Okay, so let's come back to next. Oh, also from Fellow Trader, I've got ONDO. Let's take a look there. Okay, so this is ONDO's, Fellow Trader's count on, oh shit, I got SAGA there. Hang on there, I thought I had it. Okay, I got it. ONDO, both of your links gave me SAGA. That's how I got off track. Maybe he's left-handed because whenever he posts, oh shit, the scale's always on the left side, so I'm thinking maybe he's left-handed. Maybe if you're left-handed, you'd prefer that. Okay, so let me take that off here. So I prefer, hard for me to do it on the left. Do we have an impulse up? Yep, we do. 1. Looks like a triangle. Oh. Yeah, it looks like a triangle of A, B, C, D, E, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to give us the push up, right? So good work. This, I'm gonna just pull these off a little bit. Yeah, not to disrespect your work. I can't see it. So, okay, what do I got here? I see his thinking, right? This being all wick, so the lowest close here. So this is a candidate for the 4. That's a good 1, 2, 3, 4. So all good. So we're here. We come. Let's get this out of there. Okay. I don't know what all that is. Okay. Starting over. I know it's always easier when it's your chart, right? When I look at that, it's a little tricky for me to see what he's after. Well, low to high, right? Wick, double tap into the 50. Here's the, this is commonly used, right? So the bullish order flow here of the 1 unmitigated, right to the 50. Coming out of it gets mitigated, so we can push this. Oh, we can leave it here. 1, 2. A little bit of a stretch there. Daily. Go to 60. Can we get a 1 in there? Or are we forcing? Well, this is borderline. Well, let's just label it, right? 1, 2. I put it there. We have to do 3, 4, 5 here. Right, here's the ABC of the 4. But this looks like you'd have to do this here. Oh, hang on. Okay, I had to play with that a little bit. But it looks like if I blow this up here, and I'm going to do a 60, there's a very clear 5 here that we can't ignore. Right? So, oh shit, where is it here? All right, so this is, we can't ignore that. That's just too much of 5, right? So it looks like there's a way to make that work. So we could go A, B, C down here. Let's put that. All right, so there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's not great. But pardon me. God, we might have to do it. I'll get out of there. A, B, C. God, there's not a 5 there. That's a 3. So you're kind of stuck with that. And you need this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, if I go to a 30, I'm looking, right? So I don't want to force fit it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 3. So the clean impulse here, corrective 4, a little bit sloppy on the 5. I'm kind of stuck with it. Oh, you probably finish that with a little wedge into the low. A, B, C. That's it. So 3 A, B, C into the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get us up here to give us the 1 wave. Okay, got the 1. Let's go back to a 60. Oh shit. It would. I don't know that it matters, right? So W, X, Y, right? And I'm leaning that direction because it's a 3, right? And we end with a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So an ABC down here leans me into a WXY. So ABC, ABC, X, W, A, B, C, Y gives me this, which gives me the 2. All right, so I got 1. It's complex, but it's a 3 at the end of the day, right? If I look at the swings, it's a 3. It's a deep 3, but what comes off of it? 5, 4, always the easiest to spot. We stall, we don't progress the trend, up we rip. Okay, what do I got coming off of it? I got a 5. Why would you assume anything else? Until disproven, right? We're coming off that low, or excuse me, off that high. That's pretty hard to miss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A. A, B, C. Well, that's what I see right now. Okay, with that completed 5, waiting for the ABC, we can see an obvious spot here to look for a reaction. If that holds, now we don't know that that's going to be the high, but right now it looks like that's the B working down for the C. Could that change? Definitely. This could be 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to leg again. But right now, I mean, again, it's the Elliott count. It's always a snapshot in time. So you adjust based on what you can see. Well, here I've got a pretty good retrace coming out of that. Right, if that's the B, right, all that wick rejection up here. Boom. Right, and we get, so, often it's called change in state of delivery here, right? So we've got higher. We finally break a candle low, right? So something changes. We got a B. We're going down for the C. It'd be hard to assume otherwise. Let's try that again. F5 is hard to argue with. And the 1 does not get overlapped. Up for the 2. All right, things that don't happen randomly. And let's just check if Al's involved. Well, it's not perfectly clean, but the 2 to the 4, no. It's going to have to hold it right here in the pocket. Clearly gets its target. All right, so ONDO, I think, is a hurry up and wait for this to come into a discount. Or you want to do it that way for the C down here. Beautiful buy. If that materializes, we're buying in the discount. We've got pattern recognition. 5 followed by 3. We come down in here. We know an algo is going to fire here. That would be an area to be looking for. Okay, but we're going to do this as a 5. If we do, okay, don't just buy it because it's here. Something has to happen, right? There has to be something. Maybe there's a pivot in that 5th, or you want to wait for it to give you a market structure shift, right? It's not that complicated. We complicate the shit out of it. I mean, here's a good example down here. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, something changed. Oh, and I get a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. How am I doing? All right, an hour and a half. Okay, I'm trying to do this in 2 hours as I would if I were doing it live. Funny, right? It'll be the same thing for you guys. It just takes much longer on my end because I have to render, upload, right? All the shit that you have to do to get it up on YouTube. So, but not that I mind, right? But we'll get it sorted out next week. Okay, ONDO looks good, but green banana. Okay, ONDO. Chess Slam. Oh, there's a new handle. Chess Slam. Okay, let me take a look. Okay, Chess Slam didn't have a post. It just had a couple of questions. So I'll move on. Chess Slam. By all means, feel free to post next time. Ben B is asking for a look at Link here, so I pulled this up. Pretty good. Well, this was a very, very long 4. We looked at this many, many times, right? This whole, this is very, very white coffee in here. Accumulate. There's the spring, and up we go, and we come out of it with a rip-roaring impulse. So it's a little tricky here at the beginning. I'm on Coinbase here. This is full history. I see you probably do it this way. I don't know how much it matters here, but can we dig it out of that? It's always a little bumpy here when they first hit the exchange, but there's a pretty good WXY into the 2 here, and then they're just a perfect. I mean, God, just an amazing impulse here. Long. This was just many people lost interest, right? So you can't take it, and you go, fuck it, I'll put my money somewhere else, and then look what comes out of it. It's not uncommon, right? The hard part often is the waiting. So. Well, to carry on here, this is a very nice, after this consolidation, which is, I know it's after the fact, right? But we looked at this for so long, right? The accumulation here, manipulation, and this, as they say, right? Power of 3, AMD, right? So this is just a lot of cause and the effect. But this is always the thing. I know, right? You say, it's hindsight. But when you see this consolidation, when it drives down like this, right? If you put that in the context of where we are in the larger count, to think that we were just going to head lower, okay, right? That might have been legit at the time, but you would have been thinking, okay, well, if something here is going to break, what am I going to look for? I'm going to look for the retrace, right? So as it comes back this direction, okay, maybe maybe you're thinking A, B, or 1, 2, but once we're up here and we do a 5. Now you got to be rethinking that. Oh, we did a 5. Wonder if I'll do a 3 into the 2. I know. It's easy to knock it on the hindsight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I get a 5? Right? Do I get a 3? Now this is, as we sit here, what do we have here? That's anybody's guess, I'm afraid. There's just nothing here to really lean into. So let's go all the way down to a 60 and see if we can make something fly there. Oh, maybe let's try. Let's go to a 2 hour here and see if that's a little bit better. Okay, what do I do with that? It's not an impulse. It's just not, right? I mean, sure, that's a 2 hour, even a 30-minute. Let's come over here. Can I get any sort of a 5 out of that? I mean, if you got to try that hard, usually that's a bad sign. Oh God, maybe I could. Maybe I could. Well, we get a higher low here. Oh Jesus, come on. I'm going to work this out here. I'll be back in a sec. All right. Well, I dug in here as deeply as I could. I can't get any impulses out of this. It's a tricky one. Oh, let's come to a 4 here. What are we really doing here? Just consolidating. Cause, right? Here's the break. Now back for the retest. This diag is the best thing. I had to dig down to a 5-minute to get a 3 into that, 3 into a 1. So possibly a diag. It's iffy here. WX, but I got to do an AB, ABC to get this. So WXY for the 2. Is there clear Elliott there? That's a spot where 5 Elliotticians probably give you 5 different counts. So I'm curious as what some of my wizards will look at that section and see either something's truncated or we're getting just a very sideways start to the market here. So as we look at that, we can, and if I pull this over here, let's go, let's pull out, let's go to an 8 and look where we are. If this is the 1 and this is the 2, we're trying to get the launch right out of this consolidation. We're trying to launch. It's interesting, right? So Link has a tendency to do this here. So we consolidate, break, and then we go. Then we consolidate, break, and go, right? All consolidate, you see it over and over again, right? It gets stuck, right, in the trend, right? We consolidate, right? So it's contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion. Contraction, expansion, right? So are we coming out of here? We're going to do this as a diag. Well, that would suggest if this, well, let's take this up a degree or 3, right? If this is a 1, this is the 2, and we're going to go 1, 2 into a diag for the 3. We could come out of here and go and get an impulse if it's going to be 1, 2. I can't say I love it, right? But there's nothing else there, right? So it's a little push, consolidate, push. It just reduces your conviction, right? So the long-term count, very bullish, right? It's incredibly bullish. We go back to a daily, just very, very bullish. But the beginning of it is a bit of a bumpy start. So all the more the reason, right? We don't know if this is going to come out of here as an impulse. If it is, okay, well then some variation of this would. Again, we'll see if we can come up with something. That took me about 10 minutes just to come. I had to dig in there. 1, 2. Are we going to get a 3 up here? Well, if we get a 3, something like this, we can just we can take a swing at it and do a little measuring here. Could we get up here to the 1618? Well, that would be threatening this, right? We'd have a break of structure, right? None of this do we have, but that's something we might look for down the road if we're going to actually do that, and we're going to get a break of structure that pushes up here. Let's push it up. Do we get that? 3, 4. Break the structure, retrace for the 5, and with an algo target up here. I'm trying to change that color so we don't confuse it with the 4, 5 up here. Oops, so get my mic back on. Geometry. Probably something like this. Almost got it already. I'd be kind of just, I've got some of this, right? So you could still be accumulating. This could be a place here on a little bit of a retrace here. I wouldn't shy away from buying some here. Up to the individual. It's not a textbook launch, but if we again, just basic standard ops, right? We come back into this zone, the golden zone. Here I might look to nibble there. Maybe you nibble a little bit, and if we get signs that we've got strength coming out of this consolidation here, you could add a little bit more. But it is what it is. You got to make a choice there whether or not that's good enough for you. Okay. Let's see. Rob Ang. Oh, you got a lot here. Okay. How am I doing here? Yeah, 140. Okay, I got 20 minutes. Okay, let me try and do them fast. Okay, so length, that lost some time there. It's just a tough one. Okay, so he's looking for, MicroStrategy. All right, give me a second. All right, so this here, this is Rob. I think I'm saying it right. Ang, A-E-N-G. MicroStrategy here. I started here out of log scale here, which you really need to be in, considering where we are. But I think it shows I think this live stream somewhere. I think this was a live stream that it was real tricky here, and we eventually came up with a solution here. It looks like we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the monster rip. Now, when you put it in log scale, this is a little trickier to see. But nonetheless, right, so I've got this long, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? 2, 3, 4, and then the monster kick here. Okay, do we want to call that done? Well, it's certainly the ingredients are there for this to have completed, right? So for the impulse here. Now, are we talking 5 and we're going down 50%? Well, that remains to be seen. It's just essentially, right, everybody knows it's a proxy for Bitcoin. Unless you're thinking Bitcoin is due for a massive correction, I might be looking here saying, okay, beginning of the extension. So this would be an area you might consider, right, in some sort of a raging bull here. I put the anchored VWAP off of this low here. 1, 2, 3. Is that the 4? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like there's a couple of choices here. I could bring this down here. Well, then we're already we tapped the edge of it, so not fully mitigated. Something to keep an eye on. 1, 2. All right, so that would suggest there's more to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That actually may do it. So let's pull that out. Well, if that's the case, then we can just count from here, right? 1, 2, working on 3, 4, 5. All of that's still to come. Let's go something lower. Let's get this out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So still legs. 8, 900. Oh, here I gotta take that down a degree. All right. So give us the 5 of the 5 of the 5. It's the 3, right, that kind of throws you off a little bit. We had such a long 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, just out of curiosity here, from 2 to the 4. Or excuse me, 2 through the pivot of the 3. Between the 38 and the 50. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like that has legs to keep going, right? Oh, my daily, let's go to a 4. Is that too much of a stretch? Well, here, it's always a good idea, right? If you're wondering, right? It's always helpful to do it this way. Do we have it there? You might. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to give me the 3. A, B, C is not much of a 4. On a 4 hour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 1. A, B, C of the 2. 3 going in. 4. Working on the 4. Oh, you can probably just use a trend line here. Something like this, or along these lines here, something. Even here, we've already got overthrow here. Well, here, let's just use a channel. I got in log scale, so I'm bummer with log scale. I can't use a regression channel. Clone that. Ah. Do we do it with a half? 4. Looks like more legs to go. Well, you can certainly, for trying to identify the impulse, right? Kind of keep an eye on that, on the proposed 1-2 here. Looks like that's technical as well. All right, so we come here, 50. Looks like a good spot for the 3, right? That'd be the 1618. Working on the 4 for the 5 to give me the 5 here. So then it all starts over. If we get here, then the next area of interest would be down here. 220-ish. Should we get should we ever get a retrace here? It's gonna be interesting to watch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, kicking into the 5th. These are high-class problems, right? So if it's me, I'm going to wait for a little bit of a pullback here into that 4 to try and get some. And of course, you can, this gives you the capability to work with options on a proxy for Bitcoin, or you could use the Bitcoin options. But again, here, somewhere in this range here, if we can get a clean 3, can we get a clean 3? I mean, most of you guys know what we're looking for, but just to review, can I get an A, B, C into something like that to take me up for the 5? For the 4, not overlap the 1, can we pull that off? All right, that's what I'd be looking for to get the 5, but I wouldn't assume that we've topped here. I would assume that we completed something. Remains to be seen what's next. All right, so if you're looking to be a buyer here, I'd let it, you got a little, there's a gap fill down here that might draw the market to it for that 4. Pop in here. Okay, let me keep moving. Okay, this is also Rob asking after MicroStrategy for KASPA. Another one where we have a use case. Again, I'm over on CoinMarketCap use case. Well, again, I'll let you read this here. This is infrastructure, right? That's what's being built, right? So no use case yet, but on the back end, there'll be a use case. Okay, so let's look at the chart. Obviously, right? It's bullish. There's a daily. This is actually much easier to do in a line chart because you've got this big, whatever the hell happened there. So I did it in a line chart where it's very easy to see. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the 5. Working on the 3. So even as I come back here, just this long sideways, right? The 4 usually characteristic of not progressing the trend. So A, B. Keep it simple. 3. Got legs to go. Okay, so even if we just pull that aside, oh shit, let's keep it simple. A, B, C, into the 4. Oh, come here. Got that. Up for a 5. Right look, right? So something this big and this far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not terrible, right? I mean, this is weird, whatever happened here. Long 4, right? Long wait. Much like Link, where we had that long sideways. When did we put this in? February, right? Many months waiting for this to start to pop, right? So we're sitting out here on a daily. You certainly, right, if you're bullish. There's no reason to not buy that right now. Let's get down into that. Oh, there's your low, right? So I think we can all see what's going on there, right? Do we have that? Are we going to get that? Let's get down here. Looks like we're pushing the overlap here for. Let's get it right on there. About as close as it can get. Look at the bounce, so makes me think there's an algo involved there. Let's check. All right. I know you're probably thinking, oh, I did that in advance, so I could ta-da that. Nope. I didn't. Just looking at it, looked like, oh, okay, why would it come one tick right to that, literally tag that pivot high and then react? Likely. Again, I can't make this stuff up. Okay, so are we going to go up here and get that 5, right? It'd be a nice, pretty deep for the 4 to go 618. So all the more I'd want to see a little. Well, here, let's go to a 60. I'd want to see it take out that pivot, right? Just to confirm, right? Because otherwise, how do we know? How would you know? Got a hunch? right? What if we do this? What about that? This. What about that? How are you picking the low? Genuine question. I'm asking you to answer your own self. Something has to change. We've got to at least sweep one of these highs, or it's just over and over and over and over again, right? There's no point where we've had a change in delivery. So, okay. Now, what are the ingredients we always look for, right? When we're trying to identify pivot, that we want to always, right, see a liquidity sweep, right? So from prior candle, sweep it, reaction. Now there's a fair value gap sitting right here. We can. How's the market going to react to that? Was this technical? Probably. 50, got this target. Oh, it's probably a series. Oh, you got that right there. Oh, you got a little poke through on the wick. You see what it's dealing with there. Imbalance right there. So when you can line up the idea here that we have, an imbalance here, so the market coming back to rebalance that doesn't make sense. So we get golden, 50, targets, right? The same thing happened here, right? That's why I say you want something. There has to be a mechanical, not a, if it goes 20%, 30%, 40 ticks, 50 ticks, 100 ticks, right? There has to be a mechanical way that you can identify the low. Otherwise, you're winging it. It's not duplicatable. It has to be mechanical. It has to be objective. Let me say it that way. It has to be an objective way that you identify the low. Right now, there's no way to identify that as low until we take that out. At least here on a 60. Some things to think about. Okay, right. So that's 4. Right. Let's take that out, and then right, if we get this, then we want that. Right, same thing. Every chart, every day, always the same. That's our edge. Okay, I'm almost done. Okay, also from Rob, this is a good one here. I'm glad he brought this up because there's a bit of you got to be careful here. Right? So particularly with something like this where you have to be in log scale, right? It's a pain, but we have to use it at times. So here, you're looking at this from be 4 times the range. Yeah, clearly, I was from pennies to $5-6, right? So we have to look at it in log scale. But see, in log scale here, this looks very much like, clear. Here's the impulse of 3. There's the 4. Oh, we're going for the 5. Well, slow down. I'm not so sure. I'd be careful of that, right? Because if I take that out of log scale, let's reset that. Does that look like that's going to be a 4? I know, right? So again, here's where drawing this, has value. This is what we're saying. I think not. I think not. No, I'm not saying it's not possible. The probability is very low. So that makes me think, okay, well, we have to have finished it over here, right? If we're going to keep this, remember, we want to try and keep them all self-contained. Oh, shit. Oh, maybe it's here. But this, Oh, no, pardon me. We'd have to do it here. So 3, 4, 5 of 3. This would have to be the 4. So where did my 3 go? Where's the 5? So 5 over here. Okay, so now I've got something that makes a little more sense, right? I know it's careful of that in log scale, right? You got to check both, right? Just to be, okay, come on, seriously. Could that be the 4 relative to this one too? I think not. All right, now, it's just my view, right? I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying, something to consider. Okay, right? So if that were the case, then we'd be looking and say, well, okay, well, where did we retrace to? All right, so, 786 to the tick. Oh, it looks like we're pretty much stuck with a WXY there. WXY. There's that same shitty start. Let's think of link, right? The ones we just looked at. Okay, so WXY, so 1, 2. Ugh. Well, okay, let's dig in there. Okay, so something that we can. What would be the simplest possible explanation? Well, let me come back to that. Let's just start there. Oh, Jesus, that's just. Oh, that's how long this is taking me. The market's already closed. That's why I prefer the live stream, because I've got at least 90 minutes of upload and rendering. On YouTube, that's why I much prefer the live stream, because I do it and it's done. Here, I got a lot still left to do. Okay, all right, so with that overlap, that looks like a good contender for a 2. So down to the 50. Oh, A, B, C. Off the low. This is... we get clarity here. I'm still on it. Let's go to a 4. We get a little bit of clarity here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 3. God damn. You might have to do the 4 here. A, B, C, running flat. I don't want to do 1, 2, 1, 2. No, I think not. A, B, C, it's nothing. And then it shows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 1, let's get that fully labeled. 1, 2, obviously 3. It's not hard to spot. Okay, so all right, so we got a contender here, vertical. God, I've got some of this. I wish I had more, right? So famous last words of something that's pumping. Where are we headed? Where's the liquidity? Don't have it yet. Well, that looks like bait here, right? So that's going to be used as inducement, right? So this looks like, okay, we're not quite to 618, but 1, 2, 3, 4 looks like an extension of the 5th. So maybe for the 4 to come back. Anything to do now? Well, I mean, under my rule set, I don't buy up here, right? I try to, very deliberately only buy and discount. Do I have any discount here? No. Where could I get some? Well, I'm going to have to wait to get it down here. There's a little bit of consolidation there, so you might have some demand down here. Under the 50. 4 going to go that low? Probably not. So maybe there's another little pivot in here. You might be able to get away with this. So you get here, at least you get into the discount up here. Let's go to a 1, see if there's anything in there I can work with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This looks like, again, just a rough 2, not much of a 2. 1, 2, vertical. I could have more to go. But I'd be looking here saying, okay, that's clearly, I've got much better, this little, so if I did this, much better consolidation here. Because I'm a crypto, right? I don't get volume because that aggregates them. I get all the history, but I don't get volume. But you can imagine, right, there'll be consolidation. There'll be a high volume node there. So 3, I wouldn't chase them. That's me, right? I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying if you do it, be careful, right? Accept the risk. If you're doing it, you're making a deal with yourself, right? That you're willing to take that risk. So if it starts coming down, there's no reason to hang on to it. Okay, so that's WIF. I don't think there's much else to add there other than we wait for the 4, and I would anticipate that doesn't get left. Oh, here was the last thing that happened. Break a structure up. Right, waiting for the retrace. Right, that's the hardest part, waiting, right? That's where FOMO gets you. Okay, that's everything. Oh, shit, XRP. All right, hang on. I got one more because... Okay, XRP, this is ready to go because I've had this for, I don't know how many years I've had this. A lot of years. All right, waiting. And I think you got to look at this in log scale. Or excuse me, in log, but I'm looking at the weekly. I was buying all through here, all in this anticipating. You talk about a use case, right? Yes, there is a use case here, and perhaps now with more clarity and regulation here, this can start to push. But note here, as you see, I've noted this up. We're just struggling with all those equal highs, right? So what you'd want to see here is a push and then come back and then go, and then we could be up into the what was our all-time high, $3. I think that's very, very doable. I can't recall. I don't want to say this might be golden. Wicks, a lot of wick rejection. Does not look like we have a close below on the weekly. we might be getting a 1-2 start to this, right? But with this has to, what we don't want to see is it just sweep it and, you know, oh shit. Sweep this up, come back down, right? And use that to come down lower here. So hopefully that's not what's setting up here. It's tough to make that call. We go to a daily, it's not a whole lot better, right? It's just ugly, right? We're in that same, think of Link and some of the others that we looked at where we just are in this, even though you use it down here, but this consolidation here, right? Until we break out of this, this is not a great place to be getting long right here as we are coming up here pushing the triple top here. Now some will tell you there's no such thing as a triple, right? So that we're likely to break through that. But right now as it sits, how do you argue with that? Well, you'd have to count it this way, right? There's a 1, A, oh shit. A, B, oh, it's not great. Something along those lines. And hopefully this is going to continue. So we're going to get something. Maybe this is 1, 2, 3, a little consolidation. We get up here. We get a decent 3 coming out of this. Too soon to make that call. Right now we're still in the slop. But that's a good sign. Starting to get some encouraging signs there. But it's not there yet. Okay, I got all that. Okay, now down to my very last one. Okay, thankfully. Oh, look at that, 2 hours, which is what I usually try and do in the live stream. So I'm going to run just a little bit over. I've been at this for, three plus hours. Right, it takes a long time to do these. Again, that's why I like the live stream. Okay, but I'm going to finish up with Mo, who's BZZ. Yeah, I don't know that one. Okay, I'll look it up. Hang on. Okay, last one here. Mo asking about. We have looked at this one. BZZ. Oh shit, here I didn't see he had given me a chart. Oh, hang on, let me get his chart up. Okay, well he gave me an image, so I can't do much with this, and I can't, I don't know if that's daily or not. But it looks like he's going with 1, 2 and working on the 3 here. There's a lot in there. I see the channeling here. And let me see if I can make sense of it, right? So first, let's get perspective, right? Now talk about a good initial landing here, but oh my God, what a fall! So you think, okay, why does anybody care about Swarm? What's it about? Do we have a use case? I come over here and it's going to be the same thing. A scalable, self-sustaining infrastructure for a supply chain economy of data, right? So again, infrastructure. I don't know how many coins we got. 20,000 alts. How do 5% of them live to survive? I don't know. Maybe Swarm is one of them, but again, it's all infrastructure. So let's get over here, and well, obviously we're gonna have to look at that in log scale. There's not much we can do with it other than that. Okay, so we can look down here. Do we have a low here? So as I what a clusterfuck that is. Mo, this is what you're leaving me with. Okay, well I can see a 5 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got an A, I got an 8, 3, I got a C. All right, so let's try and keep it simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B. So I'm getting tired. I'm getting hungry. Okay, so what happened over here? Do we see any liquidity being swept? That's a rhetorical question, right? Obviously, we can all see what's happening here. Oops. All right, it happens over every one of these gets used for liquidity, right? So each one, right, gets swept. And note, after each one, retrace. Each one. I mean, pretty significant retrace, right? Just heads up. I could do this pretty much every pivot. right? So this is what we want to look for, right? These are the cornerstones of hallmarks of a pivot, right? Is there a liquidity grab? If there is, okay, I get a little conviction, right? So we want to see the liquidity grab, and then we want to see, oh, they can't get to a new low. And what comes out of that? Okay, so coming out of there, we're going to have to do it this way. Oh, Jesus, we might. We got to put them somewhere, so let's start right there. Let's go with here. We've been using this color because it's. I've got a new color to use. Stands out a little bit. 1, 2. Oh God. Let's put the 3 up here. I'm on daily. Let's go to a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoosh. Well, this would likely be 1, 2. Boy, these pump wicks are brutal. That looks like you got an A, B, C there. So it looks like you got A, B, C for a running flat. This being a 3, most likely, right? It's hard to call it when you something this illiquid. 1, 2, 3. Do it as a diag. Oh, you know, a coin like this, I would be shocked if it had crystal clear Elliott. Well, okay. What's the simpler thing? Maybe we're trying too hard here. Okay, let's restart again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so let's. Oh shit! Let's take this one up. Oh, I wanted an easy one to finish with here. All right, Mo, you challenging me? Okay, so it looks like we'd have to go again into a 1, 2. So let's take that up to sub, and let's go 1, 2. Let's change that color. Micro. Okay, do we have to do yet another 1, 2? That's already getting wick rejection. So let's put that in. Let's go back to white. That's a mighty big wick to leave behind. Looks like the only purpose of that wick was to grab that liquidity. I'm on a 4, right? So I'm looking at this thinking 1, 2, 3. Ugh, Jesus. Can't say I like that. You got this little wedge here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the A, B, C for the 2. It looks like it's technical. Right to the 50. 1, 2, 3. That's a big wick to leave behind. So it got ahead of itself most likely. So we just, again, same process every time. As I will remind you, that is our edge, right? So we don't want to be varying this. If we can't apply it, it's just next trade, next asset. 1, 2. That's, you know, this isn't. I mean, it's an illiquid asset, right? It's now maybe, right? We get all of this is still, Jesus, that's a lot to come. A lot still to come. Let's go to oh shit. Got to stay minuet here. 1, 2. Oh, this has to come down. Okay, so shit. I'm just trying to be consistent here. Okay, 1, 2, and then this would have to be in the lowest. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'll let this. I wouldn't personally, right? I wouldn't chase this. I'll wait until something gets a little bit more clarity. I can get a completed 5. Once I get a completed 5, then I have kind of a, you know, an anchor to say, okay, I can see that. Now I can anticipate the retrace based on what comes next. I mean, the other thing we can look at here and say, okay, what really happened down here? A lot of accumulation. Right now we're just a lot of cause. Now we're just starting to get the effect, right? Can we get legs up here? Obvious. Look how it handles the liquidity, right? Every single one of these pivots has been used as a liquidity sweep. So we can anticipate all the rest of them will be used the same way, right? So I would have these all marked out. So those are targets, right, that you might anticipate if we get up for a 5 here. 3, 4, 5, we get something like that. You know, they're just hanging there, right? They're literally just targets. After all of this accumulation down here, right? Can we run this thing? I'm not saying don't trade it. I'm saying that's not an idea, right? If you could pick where to buy it, I wouldn't call that the ideal spot. Maybe you get a little retrace back. Oh, shit. Maybe we get a little retrace on the 4 back into that to let some of this complete, right? Then I get a completed 5. Then I got something I can work with. Okay, I got to get out of here. That's 2 hours and 10 minutes. I did it in 2 hours. It took me 4 hours. All right, but okay, we got it done. All right, I'll get the issues on the live stream. I'll get that sorted out. I'll get on their support team. So I know what the hell I'm doing. Okay, guys, have a good one. I hope you get a little bit of help or some ideas or some things to think about from these. That's always my goal here. All right, remember, you can always join us in our Discord for free, and we'll take it from there. Okay, guys, have a good one.